Hey all, Hipper here. So we're taking out the Atago today, and I'm sure you've seen me play this ship before, and well, that's just too bad. Because I've tried to play it more here recently in, the expectation that soon legendary ships will be something that you won't meet anymore when you play tier 7s. Specifically because we're gonna get tier 8 slotted in between tier 7 and legendary tier. So it's going to mean a lot for especially the tier 7 cruisers, because you don't have to face Yamato anymore. Anyway, let's just have a look at my build here. It's an agile build, of course. Baltimore and Tesla as inspirations. Tesla improves the turret rotation, which is very important on Atago. All the perks and fully packed. All the perks are, of course, all about rudder and speed. On the ship, we have the improved turret rotation. Again, I don't have aiming systems because it's more important to be able to turn your turrets quickly with an agile build. And I don't run the torpedo upgrade in the end because I think it's silly. And 1.8 second rudder and 40.3 knots. You can also choose to take Tesla off and put, I believe it's Müller on as an inspiration. That's actually a better pick because then you get 2-second rudder and you can go 42 knots, which is actually better in the grand scheme of things. But for this battle, I am going full rudder. You can also switch both inspirations for Fraser and Müller, and then you can go 43 knots, which is obviously also very good. So agility, it's about rudder and speed really. So just take your pick. So also, if you don't have those premium commanders that I have, you can just pop the speed ones on there instead, and you'll do pretty much just as well. Some ships require Baltimore to be truly agile, but Atago doesn't. You actually don't need any of the two inspirations. I mean, they do help, but strictly don't have to. So we have an Iowa in the cap here, so obviously I cannot push in anymore, but instead I'm trying to, play the sheep here and try to get this Iowa to shoot at me, and that way, hopefully he will stay broadside because he doesn't seem to really know what's going on here. And in a minute you'll see the battleship behind me fire a salvo. There it is, and the Iowa is still completely, absorbed in this cruiser here that he may be able to citadel. But instead, he's the one who gets citadeled, and this is what you can do as a cruiser. Just, keep people interested in you, bait your broadside to make the battleship shoot at you, and kind of forget about everything else. And yeah, you can do that in any cruiser, but I certainly, recommend you do it in an agile cruiser because it's much easier to dodge those incoming salvos if you have to. So the Iowa is very low on health, so we can push in now. And that battleship, that Montana behind me, he did exactly the right thing here. So it's going to open up this flank for me to push in because Iowa is not a threat anymore. He's going to shoot at me, yes, but it's not really that much of a problem. And pretty good dispersion there, so we're just trying to fit in, and as you can see, pretty well done. That was a whole other salvo wasted from that Iowa. So we are 4 minutes into the game now, and all he's done is shoot at me, and he's taken away 7,000 health from my agile cruiser here. Total waste of time, total waste of effort, and in the same breath, he was citadeled completely by the battleship behind me that was using the baiting by me to get in that nice salvo. And I mean, if you can do that in battleships, that's pretty much the reason agile cruisers are a thing. So I'm obviously spotted here, but it's just a DD. Like you can see, the Iowa was taken out, and he had no camo, and he was broadside, so that was just bound to happen. But there is a DD here somewhere, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm gonna go down, and then I'm gonna take the cap, and then probably once I have taken that cap, the battleships are going to actually notice me and probably come over to see if they can't get some nice citadels over here. But for now, there's no one over here on this flank here that's actually a threat. The destroyer is there, yes, but all you can do is send torps, like I can see right here. And he does get spotted here, but he keeps just out of spotting range. And with the slow reload, on Atago, like, you pretty much have to be broadside to get all your guns on the destroyer, and then sometimes you can one-shot them if you're lucky. But in this situation here, I can really only get my 2 front turrets on him, especially when the carrier keeps making me turn to the directions I don't want to turn. And I mean, that's what carriers are good at, really. So just delays me a little bit here, because I want to get this cap here, and that's what I'm fighting for. And I want to get this cap before the battleships come to this destroyer's rescue here. So it's kind of a battle against time here. So at this time I just decide to take those carrier torps, because I want to get a full broadside on this gearing here. Hopefully I can remove him by taking those 2 torps, but unfortunately he just survives, which is, I mean, come on. Atago has a 15-second reload, and if you can't take out a destroyer with an alpha salvo like that, perhaps it's time to look a little bit at the ship, because it's not the best destroyer hunter out there already. And sure, if you put a full HE build on, you might be able to whack that DD there, but you're giving up everything else. So it's like, compared to Susuya or Minotaur or, you know, Mogami even. But anyway, Atago is doing better, and I shouldn't complain, because it's a fantastic ship. And anyway, the destroyer is gone now. I can cap, and he's, like, you know, relegated to hiding behind that island out there. And I will just send some naughty torpedoes in case he decides to pop out. In the meantime, the Reds have pretty much taken control of sea. You can see how my team, they are all hiding behind the same island, and that happens so often on this map here. The battleship and myself over here, we're pretty much the only ships on this map here, on the blue team, who are in, you know, like, a position that makes sense. Sure, one ship can probably hide behind that island over there at sea and, you know, get at some nice broadsides. But if you don't have anyone else in, like, a good spot, well, then it's just wasted. And as it is now, everyone's sitting behind that island. So I'm fully expecting that flank to fall, and you can see there's already a battleship on its way over here, like I predicted, because I've taken the cap now, and I need to just prepare for that. So just going to see if I can't remove the last health of this gearing here, because that would help. And the torps pretty much give away where he is. He's somewhere down here. But the thing is, if I keep going that way, that battleship that's approaching A will have a very nice shot at me. So I have to give up the chase and pretty much get into a bit of cover here. Because I'm pretty sure that is a Yamato, and I don't want to be its only target. And you see, the blues are still sitting behind the island on the other flank, and even 2 destroyers. So yeah, it's pretty much up to us over on this flank here to make sure we win. So it is a Yamato, and that means I have to be a little careful here. And once we get our precious tier 8, this is not going to be a problem anymore. We're not going to have to face these, you know, very powerful legendary battleships that you can't really do much against in a tier 7 cruiser, other than run away basically, or torp really. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. It'll be good for most of the tier 7 cruisers, really. It'll be good for the game. So that's just to come over to the other flank again. That's a problem when you get into a good position. For example, like the Alaska over on the other flank, he's in a good position, but everybody else is in the same position, and that's when things, you know, go south, because then you're not spread out, and like the enemy team just has free roam across the map, and you don't want that. So I mean, yeah, interesting times. Anyway, so I'm just trying to set up a bit of an ambush on this Yamato here, because he wants to come around the corner. It's pretty obvious, but of course I cannot take more than 1 salvo from this guy and still survive. So I have to plan this a little bit. And of course I'm spotted, because the red team, like their destroyer is actually spotting stuff. I was like, yeah, wow. And somehow, I don't know, it looks like the blues have actually pushed off the reds over on the other side. And things are looking better now. But again, I don't want to rush this Yamato here, because he's in a really nice spot there. And he has backup, and it's just not the best moment right now. I just keep shooting torps, hoping that he's gonna commit and come out from there, and you know, take a whole rack of torps, which will probably take him down to a few thousand hit points, which I can then remove with my guns. But he's a little bit too smart for that. He knows what I'm doing. But I'll just keep staggering my torps here, and then sooner or later, hopefully he'll jump out. And the carrier is coming to his aid now again, and yeah, it's just not really fair, these battles here, where the tier 7 cruiser gets focused by legendary battleships and the carrier. But yeah, well, what can you do? So we're gonna stagger another set of torps here. So there's always torps coming, so he cannot come around this corner here, because like, there could be, you know, he doesn't know when the next set is coming. Yamato doesn't have a sonar, so it's only when they're really in range that he knows they're coming. So this way I keep him out of the cap as long as I possibly can. And I don't know, we seem to have lost the other battleship in the cap that was trying to cap over on the sea cap. So it's even more important that I hold this cap now, because if I hold this, we're going to win on points. If this Yami gets me, then we're probably going to lose. So now I'm trying to lure him to come out by making it look like I'm going to come from the back and torp him. Of course, I'm not going to do that, but I'm trying to make him think that I'm going to do that, because I'm just going to use the fact that I'm spotted so he knows what I'm up to. And it looks like he's actually pushing in now. And I go unspotted, and that's exactly what I want. But obviously, now it's a little bit of a problem, because he's actually coming around, and I'm not in a good torpedo position now. So I have to reposition, and he's going to get into the cap. He's going to get some points here, but not much I can do about it. I'm not in a position to take him on. He's going to fire, so we just we get ready and have a look at the shells, and it's not too bad, this one here, because I don't think he could really fire the way he wanted to because of that little outcropping on the island there. So hopefully we can get another fire here to soften him up a little bit more, and then go unspotted. And now is when I can really make use of Atago's forward-facing torpedoes, because I'm unspotted, and yeah, he has a vague idea where I'm going, but you know, once you go unspotted in Atago around an island like this, and you decide to become unspotted, that usually means that the red ship is at a disadvantage, and that's exactly what this guy is here. Because he's going to get one chance to take me out, and there is one way he could actually perhaps win this, and that's by staggering his shots. It's not a guarantee, but it would give him a better chance at actually sinking me. Because here, if you use all your guns at the same time at an attacking agile cruiser like this, then you only get one chance. And of course, as soon as he shoots, I'm going to show broadside and fire all my torps. And you can see him waiting, because he's just waiting for me to show broadside. And I'm just waiting for him to fire, and then I'm going to take him out. And I have enough health, unless he gets a whole bunch of citadels, but it's unlikely. So especially when I'm wiggling like this, I'm trying to deny him the aim to get the shells all the way through the bow and down into the citadel by doing slight turns here. I mean, it makes it difficult to aim when you're in a battleship. And he took out my forward torpedoes, but that doesn't matter. I just repair, and they're back, and we get to win this little fight here against the Yamato. And that's the end of him, and that's the cap, defended, and the blues over on the other side have pretty much taken the other cap. So that's it. We defended this flank here for pretty much the whole game, not without a lot of backup. There was one battleship, and he did a really good job, especially on that Iowa in the beginning. I wish more battleship players would keep an eye out for opportunities like that. But once they do, well, it's pretty much a winning move. So we're just wiggling here because the carrier is trying to get in a cheap, easy kill here in the last few seconds. And as you can see, I haven't done that much damage in this battle here. but still, it's pretty good effort in a tier 7 cruiser in a, I think it's a majority legendary battle, this one here. And like I said, once we get tier 8, the tier 7 cruisers will be back to where they were, you know, at Christmas 2020, which was in a really good spot. So that's the end of the Atago versus Yamato battle here. And I do enjoy these battles here where I get to talk battleships. It's one of the best things in the game, really. So hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I'll see you out there.